Hello, my name's Winford Dorr, and I want to try and answer the question that I'm often asked: why did I start studying brain development? Well, I've been an entrepreneur for quite a few years, and everyone thought that I'd got an idyllic lifestyle. I've got nice businesses and a private plane and a yacht and big houses and 4 lovely children and so on. What they didn't see was that my eldest daughter was extremely unhappy. She'd had brilliant teachers who worked hard, and she was the one that was always taken out for lessons for extra support. She was the one that had to watch them playing sport because she couldn't. And she was also the one that was always standing in the corner of the playground wishing that someone would talk to her. One day I got the phone call that changed my life. Suzy had attempted to take her life. She'd been found by my other daughter and rushed to hospital, and as my heart sank, I remember making the commitment that if by mercy she survived, I would do everything in my power to make her happy. Well, Suzy did mercifully survive, but she remained very, very depressed. And it was some time later before I came across some of the research that had started in Harvard Medical School explaining where in the brain it is determined whether or not we acquire different types of skill. That was it. Suzy's brain was simply unable to acquire specific types of skill. Now, we all suffer from that a little. In fact, research now tells us that typically we suffer from having gaps in about 15% of our skill development. And often, fortunately for us, they're not essential things that we can get away with in life. So maybe it's dancing or singing or public speaking or something that we're not brilliant at. But for Suzy, it seemed like it was 80% of her skills just didn't develop, including so many of the crucial things like being able to concentrate and listen, being able to read, being able to write, being able to spell, make friends or play sport. All of those things she was lacking, and they're critical to having any sort of reasonable life. She had just about every problem. So was the universe setting me a challenge? So being an entrepreneur, I'm kind of used to challenges, and for me the ultimate challenge isn't making money. The challenge for me is doing something that solves a problem in a completely new and innovative way. I was used to people telling me that my ideas were mad and they wouldn't work, but they did eventually, c'est la vie. So this problem with Suzy was more than a challenge, this was a mission, something that I simply had to do. Suzy had great teachers, great doctors and consultants, and was still depressed. But the research from Harvard was now being studied by other professors in other universities, and it was being applied increasingly to the symptoms that were limiting Suzy. Soon we'd got an army of researchers working on solutions, totally focused on getting results. The thought that there was a risk that one day I would get another phone call about Suzy was a massive driver to me. And what an interesting journey has followed. Firstly, Suzy started to make great progress. We had developed a series of physical stimulatory activities that worked on the bit of the brain that professors were saying that could make all the difference. And we had no clue, of course, whether the results would be lasting, although we were seeing really encouraging stuff. We didn't no clue what age of people would it work on, what skills could we improve. And Suzy and others were improving in a way that no one had ever thought possible before. What a relief, what a thrill! She and the hundreds of guinea pigs who did those early trials had changed their lives for the better, and in ways we never expected, achieving changes in abilities, in sport for instance, and in confidence and in communication, areas we had no clue would improve, but they did. So we got pursued by some wonderful documentary makers who put stuff on television about us, and they wanted to know, is this really true? Trevor McDonald came in the UK with a team of folk, did an amazing program. 60 Minutes too did the same for the US. They did an amazing program. And they all brought people to do this crazy program to see if it was for real or a scam. And they all proved that it was real. Today, this story is still unfolding, and more universities are taking the science on. People are using it to enhance an even broader range of skills, and world-class athletes are trying it, school children are doing it, enhancing their confidence and performance at school. People are using it in the workplace to increase their skill set, to reduce their stress and so on. And the elderly, in 2014 a study was done on 100 people between the ages of 65 and 90, showing that we could even help to recover memory and balance in older people. So Suzys' dilemma has led to many thousands of people being helped. It was an accidental discovery, but it's going to transform in the future millions of people's lives. And of course, we have now answered the question, does its effectiveness last? It does. Rather like the wiring you create in your brain when you learn to ride a bike. You can still get on a bike and ride it, even if you've left it in the shed for the last 20 years. And the program, Zing Performance we call it, works for all ages, up to 90 anyway. We haven't yet got a program for children under 7, but that might well come. So whatever it is that you want to be more confident at, your 15% or whatever it is of skills that you'd like to be more natural at, be happier doing, the chances are Zing Performance could well help you. And our journey isn't over yet, even though Susie is happier than ever running her own small business, and now she's using so much of what she learnt at school that her teachers thought hadn't gone in. It had, though she wasn't able to use it until her cerebellum had itself been fully developed. So this mission won't be over until everyone that could benefit from it has done so. And we're working very hard to build the latest research into our latest programs that anyone can access anywhere at low cost. And for those that can't even afford low cost, then for free. It's a thrill to stop looking so hard at people's limitations, and it now gives us a chance to look at everyone in a different light, because everyone has far more potential than they've ever been given credit for. Don't let them miss out. Thank you so much for listening.